How's it going, everyone? Welcome to our first anniversary for Austin Guy Gaming. Oh man, has it been a year? It has been a crazy and fun and wild and stressful and fun and productive year for Austin Guy Gaming. And it's also the 3-year anniversary for Austin Guy Podcast and Austin Guy Productions. Man, September 17th. That's such a marvelous date. To be honest with you, like, it's always a marvelous date when you have something that you've started for whatever reason and have just watched it grow. And it might not seem like it, but man, have we grown. Austin Guy Productions has grown over the past year since we started Austin Guy Gaming. When I first started Austin Guy Productions, I wanted to start doing gaming videos right away and not just do a podcast. We started out with a podcast, but I wanted to do gaming videos. I wanted to do like shorts. I wanted to do a lot of stuff right off the bat. But living in LA and like high ass cost of living with that, and it was easier to just afford mics, and of course, like, I had a lot of interesting people around me when I was living in LA, so starting a podcast was easier. So that's why we started with the podcast 3 years ago. And it has been a constant reminder to always want to do more and do better. And so, the podcast holds a near and dear place in my heart for that reason. But Austin Guy Gaming, the fact that we've actually started gaming now, it's like amazing. I've always had a capture card, and I've always like tried to record myself playing games like Dead Space 2 when it came out, Dead Space 3 when that came out, and several other games. Also doing like collaboration gameplay videos with some of the Underachiever guys, the Almost Nerd guys. And if you don't know, those are the same people. And even some of the people here, from Austin Guy, from the Texas crew. And they never really were like at a set level, a set standard that I had. And like, yeah, that's like a perfectionist me, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Like, I had a level of standard that if we didn't at least meet it, then I wasn't happy, and I wasn't going to put out anything I wasn't happy with. So it took us a while to upgrade the software and the hardware, actually. The hardware that I had for game capturing, and then finding a way to be able to get speech over it with what little I had. And now we've progressed. I'm using Brian's Snowball microphone, which is what I use for most of my audio. I wish I had a better setup so that way the mic could be in front of me more naturally, and I could use my webcam and whatnot. But I need a better webcam because I don't like my my Mac webcam. Nothing wrong with the Mac webcam, but just trying to get it to where I can record myself, and also like not just have it to where it's like the side of my face the entire time while I'm actually playing the game on my TV. That's a bit tricky. At least for the space that I got here. But, within this upcoming year, maybe that'll change. Maybe we'll actually find a way to make things work. Who knows? Some of the challenges, though, I have come to find out from doing these gaming videos is, man, one, I'm doing everything by myself. Right? I'm recording the games by myself. I'm playing the games by myself. I'm editing them by myself. I'm posting them by myself. Along with the podcast, which I do on, I do all the post work on that on my own, and it's a lot. I'm telling you that it's a lot. I mean, I thought it would be somewhat easy, but there's just times where I don't even feel like playing games. Like playing games has become more of a chore and feels more like a job than it actually, than it being as fun as it should be. And that's like the challenge too, it's like, how do I don't want to just play a game just to play. Play a game. I want to do it because I want to have fun. I want to get lost in it. I want to play the way I play with it, and it's like the words are escaping me right now. It's just like everything I want to say about just that, because it's honestly like I never thought I'd hit that point where like playing video games feels like work. I mean, it's fun work. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. I love the fact that playing video games, recording them is work. But if you watch from like the beginning, like I didn't have much of a personality. Now I'm starting to kind of get one because I'm getting comfortable recording and playing and speaking what's on my mind and just trying to find things to say. It is more of the difficult part than anything when I'm playing a game. Like right now, I've actually already recorded this footage earlier today, and now I'm just speaking into a microphone, not even worried about playing this game or anything else like that. So that's why my speech is a little bit more natural, and I'm not as distracted too. But yeah, that's hard. I mean, from solely playing video games for over 20 years, where I wasn't recording and talking out loud like my son usually does now. To all of a sudden, like, I have to do that. I've always been kind of introverted. It's kind of hard to believe when you listen to me on the podcast. But I've always been kind of introverted. And so to be able to get on the microphone and speak and throw my personality out there, first of all, I have to find the personality I'm comfortable with being out there. And no, like having to amp it up like 10 times. It's like I'm doing a podcast, but I'm playing video games as well. Like, that's what it's like. And it's very tiring. It really is. So, like, it's a lot going on, honestly. I didn't think it would be that way, but it's totally that way. Doing everything myself too is like really hard, because there are days where it's like I need to edit, I have to edit, and I'm not in the mood to edit. And there's stuff where it's just like really easy to edit. If I want to do an easy edit, I usually do the audio over the video together, so it's just throw everything on there, throw my bookend, my opening, my closer, and then just export and then upload. But that's only been like a few times recently, and then like, majority of the time is me just recording the gameplay and then using a separate audio program to capture my voice. And of course, the hardest part is like a lot of times since I'm mass recording these, so I can actually edit them in advance and get them ready to post up. Like, though most of the times, like the week that they're supposed to come out, I'll post them up like Wednesday or Thursday night. They come out Friday morning. I think only a few good times that I've actually like I'm uploading 3 videos this week, and then next week I'm uploading 2 videos. And I think the most buffer I've had was like I had 6 weeks worth of videos in the can, and I just use that to relax and enjoy not playing video games for a while and focus on the podcast. And should use that on writing. I should use them at that time for a lot of other stuff too. But I mean, I was so drained from all of that. And now with like the Blood Dragon videos, I'm putting a lot more work into this, because I mentioned the pop-up video stuff, and it was very prominent in the first video because there was like a lot of facts being thrown out, and now there's like not as many facts in the videos. But I was like, I started a theme. I want to keep up with the pop-up videos, so now I actually have to watch the entire thing, find my sources, make my own pop-ups, and do everything else. And that's like the most extensive work I've done, mainly in a video, or at least for my video game videos. Other than that, it's usually just like, okay, record the opening, find the soundtrack that I like for a little, it's 16, 20 seconds entrance thing, entrance picture and audio and all that, and then just get right into the video. And that's usually the most work I do, just because it's only me. If there was more people to actually help out with this, then I would make sure that the videos would be up to a certain standard and get progressively a lot better, like more rapidly and whatnot. But for now, it's just me. And, I'm only human. Sometimes I'll get 2 videos in and I have to worry about the podcast week after week after week and all that. And then I have my day job getting into that, and it's pretty hectic. But I've somehow managed to make it all work, and I'm surprised that I've actually managed to make it all work. Oh man. But yeah, that's I never thought that, it was I would hit those certain walls other than like, okay, yeah, I knew that video games would become feeling like work and you would kind of lose some fun in playing them again, but everything else I never expected. Especially the podcast. The podcast has changed so much this year. If you've been paying attention to the podcast for the past few weeks, it's mainly just been me and Brian because Megan's been going through some stuff. We haven't heard that much from Shark, and it's just been me and Brian. Brian's Jarrell from Almost Nerds Underachievers, and he's been a big help, mainly because he wanted to start doing his podcast, Underachievers podcast, and get Underachievers and all that go up and going, and he's used the fact that I had a podcast and that inspired him to get up off his ass and do something about it. So we've helped inspire Underachievers, and I'm glad for that. That's actually a really big accomplishment for me to inspire someone else to go after their dreams, and I'll take that over anything that we've done, probably will ever do, and in the future of this little channel and company and whatnot. But yeah, the podcast format is going to change starting this Tuesday. In this next upcoming episode of the podcast, you'll see it's actually going to be, we're going to try a different formula. It's only going to be me, just me only. I have already like a set format I'm going to try to experiment with and see how that goes. And if all goes well, then that'll be the new format for the podcast. It's not just going to be audio with the pictures up in the background either. It's actually going to be a video. I'm actually gonna save up and get a better webcam than what's on my laptop, and actually put video out, of me doing the podcast. And it's not going to be like an hour and a half to 2 hours like it used to be. Now it's probably going to be more around like 15 to maybe at most like 35 minutes. But I'm going to keep it to where, if someone still wants to jump in and help out, they can. They can take on some of the responsibilities of like continuing the show with me. But yeah, I mean, mainly doing that because the podcast was always a volunteer thing. I didn't. Meg and Shark, they never got paid. No one, not even Eric, when we were doing that, Eric, Jeremy, and Steph and all them, we were never paid. It was always volunteer basis, and because it was volunteer basis, I had to keep reminding them like, hey, look, like, you don't have to be on it, but at least just let me know if you're not gonna be able to make it, so I can replace you if need be and whatnot. And so because of that, also I can't sit there and tell them like, you have to be there, you have to show up. That's just not right. And so now it's just solely going to be on me, which I think would be a lot better and a lot more productive, other than the fact that now I have to like write stuff for this weekly format, just to talk on topics to talk about. But still, other than that, it should be a lot better. Should make things a lot easier for me too, seeing as more than likely we usually record on Sunday when everyone was free, and since it's only up to me, I think I might record it on Saturday or Sunday and release it on Tuesday, just because I want to have like at least a full week's time in between the recording, so I have a week's worth of topics to talk about. Yeah, that's how things will probably go from now on. You'll actually see me in front of the camera, and so I'll have to develop my personality even more and be a little bit more animated and lively in front of the camera and off the camera, that I'll hopefully translate to when I start doing the video game videos. For this anniversary, I wanted to have a short already done and get ready to post up, but things have already just been hectic, on everyone's end. Like, I haven't had time to rewrite a few of the scripts I needed to rewrite before we start shooting, because certain characters and people who are going to be a part of them have changed. And so, the people that have stepped up to want to just be in that, to fill in that spot, they bring a different dynamic, and you have to rewrite it to where like the dynamic of the script fits the dynamics of the people that are there, and so it can all work out and actually be a lot better. Still be as good and impactful as I want it to be. But it's rough, you know. Like I can't just write. You know, there are people who who say that you should just writing's easy and you should be able to just do it whenever you feel like you have to and whatnot. Like just turn to get on the write. Like no, writing is essentially that easy. I'm not gonna lie, it's essentially that easy. Good writing is not that easy. That's the thing. Good writing is you get into a certain mood, you start writing. And if you're going to continue writing that way, you have to get back to that certain mood. And you can't really force it. If you force yourself to get back into that mood, everything you write's going to feel forced. Everything you write's going to feel off. So like to have it, let it come naturally and then just jump into it and start writing or continuing writing again. That's the best way to go. And I have so many scripts. Can't say had, but I have so many scripts I need to finish writing, but I haven't had time to relax and get into any one of those moods to be able to finish writing them. And man, I really would like to. Like I'm contemplating taking time off, like using my vacation time off of work, to just sit down and relax and write. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Mainly because there's a project that I kind of am prematurely involved in a little bit right now. I said yes to, and I'm gonna do the paperwork to like actually be a part of it, and so I'm gonna end up using vacation time for that. And unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to talk about anything about that other than what I've just said right now until everything is all said and done. But yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot within a year. 1 year. So you can imagine 3 years since I started this channel. And for people who don't know, like I've started this channel because when I went to LA from Austin to finish out film school, in Austin they taught us, always be hungry, always, go out there, find jobs, work on projects, just keep putting yourself out there nonstop to be able to get this work and be able to make a living out of this. And we get to LA and everyone's just there like, oh, well, like the production companies and everything else is around here. You guys just gonna pick what you want to do and then just apply for that at one of those places. They pretty much teach you how to work and not how to actually find work. Most people there want to be directors, they want to be actors, But some of them are good. Some of them are actually really good at what they do, but they just can't. No one can start at just being a director. Some people get lucky. They put out a short film or whatnot, and it takes off, and then they're able to get a directing job, and they do well with that on a major motion picture or like a somewhat major motion picture, and then they just build from there. But it's not a thing that happens all too often. So to help get people exposure, which is a word that we all hate, but to help get their stories out there and get themselves kind of well known, like I wanted to start this channel so that way they can they can make a short, and if most of them don't have YouTube channels, most of them don't have places they could just post stuff up to. So it's like, hey, shoot it and I'll support it, and then I'll probably, if I have the money to, I'll financially back it a little bit. But and then post it up on my YouTube channel as a way to get your story out there. I'll monetize it. I'm not sure if YouTube still has this, but I know they did at one point where you could actually check how much money each video has gathered from views and whatnot. And so it's like, yeah, keep track of all that, and however much money their videos make, like when we get our check, just send it to them. So they they get all the money. I don't get any of it. It's their work. It's their baby, their project. They should get everything that comes from it. Unfortunately, even from our own videos, we haven't gotten any money at all whatsoever. Part of that is because once again, I'm the only one running this channel, so I'm running everything. We have a Twitter page, but that Twitter page has been dead for like a year and a half. We have a Facebook page, and that Facebook page has been dead for about a year. Because trying to do all of this, all the editing, all the recording, everything else, and then run social media on top of that, it's so time consuming, it's so tiring, and it's hard for just one single person to do. And they have had people, volunteer to want to take over the social media pages and whatnot, but it's like, I don't it's not that I don't trust anyone else to run it. I know that eventually, like, the volunteer time is going to be turned into, they're going to feel like they're doing work. It's going to feel really more like a job, and they're going to want to be paid. And I don't blame them for that, you know. I personally would rather be able to pay them right away. You know, be like, hey, we'll volunteer for this. And be like, no, I'm going to pay you to do this. You know, do what you can, but, you know, however much you put out is how much you're going to get paid, whatnot. You know, it's not an incentive. It's just, to me, it's right. Because, yeah, it's going to feel like work while you're doing it. But, yeah, and it's crazy that, you know, trying to do all this, and that's like, you got to make sacrifices. Like, we started it so we can actually be able to put ourselves out there and let people know, like, hey, we got this going on, and all that stuff. But it's suffered, and all our channel has suffered because of that. Hopefully we can get that changed in the upcoming year or two. But, you know, we'll see. I'm staying hopeful about a lot of stuff. And we've also had people suggest, you know, that we try Patreon. And we're not a well-known channel for Patreon. You know, like, we don't have enough fans, we don't have enough followers for Patreon to be able to hire people or be able to get videos done or even take the time away to be able to do videos. Like, that's just not what we have. It's not a luxury we have right now. I tried doing a Indiegogo or even a GoFundMe for certain shorts to do, and those have come up completely negative on that. Haven't gotten any money raised. But yeah, you know, still trying certain things that I'm hoping would work. And sadly, they're just not working. What else have we been suggested that we do? We've been suggested a lot of stuff, and we've tried a lot of stuff too. I've tried a lot of stuff. You know, I usually try not to say no to some stuff, but stuff that I know instantly is not going to work, simply because of our circumstances. You know, I won't do it. But if there's like a small chance where I'm like, well, maybe this might happen, then yeah, I'll give it a shot. But, you know, it's tough, you know, and a lot of great YouTube channels were not built in a day. They weren't built in a week. They weren't built in a year. Rooster Teeth had been around way before YouTube, but it took them about, I want to say, at least 5 to 8 years before they even got to a good enough status to be able to hire people and get a small company going. And then a lot of famous YouTubers, Markiplier and all of them, like, they didn't start out by getting 1 million fans or 1 million views per video within like their first few years that they were on YouTube. You know, so I always look to that as a hopeful. Like, there's no time frame where it was like you should have it figured out by now. Instead, it's, you know, yeah, a lot of people have didn't find their audience right away, and they've experimented, and they were able to find, through that, they eventually were able to find their audience. And now they're just maintaining their audience and growing their audience. And, you know, we're still trying to get to that part. But it's been 3 years, so we still got like a few years left where before we finally start thinking like, man, this is really going nowhere. But nonetheless, I won't give up on it, because I'm never going to give up on the podcast. I'm never going to give up on any of the content that I'm putting out, me personally, and that I probably will put up from other people and will be supporting for other people on this channel. Because when I was in LA and I was in my last week of film school before I had to drop out, my mentor in LA, he's the owner and founder of Geekscape, by the name of Jonathan London. Great guy. But he saw that I was looking kind of down one day, and just trying to think about what I'm going to do with my life post film school. And I asked him, when he asked me what was wrong, I asked him, like, all this stuff going, I just don't know what to do. He's like, you know what you should do? Don't quit your podcast. At the time, we just had the podcast. Don't quit your podcast, because you quit your podcast, it's going to be so easy for you to just give up and not follow through with it. And that podcast, you continuing to do is a constant reminder that you're aiming towards something greater. So just never give up doing that. And then So that way, even on your lowest points, even when things are really, really down and gritty, and you're feeling like giving up, that constant reminder is there that you're aiming for something greater, and you need to achieve that something greater. And those words have really stuck with me, and that's why he's definitely been a mentor of mine, and he's been very supportive in a lot of stuff that I've approached him with, and I've talked to him about, and I like having that support system. I love the fact that I was able to find someone like him through the fact that I went to film school. Period. Not just go to film school in LA. I went to film school here in Austin and in LA. But the fact I just went to film school, period, and found someone like him. I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, I want to say that's about it. For all the updates and everything for the 3 years, man, I still can't believe it's been 3 years. We're still going to keep the Halloween podcast going, because that's actually one that when we actually posted up our third one, like that was one of our biggest podcast views, our biggest podcast episodes, and of course, like a lot of people that I know always ask me to be on that podcast. It's like, you want to be on the Halloween podcast? You want to be on the Halloween podcast? It's one of our most popular podcasts, apparently among viewers and definitely among people who want to participate in it. But so yeah, we're never going to get rid of that. And I always like the concept of how we started it and where we want it to go and whatnot. But yeah, so don't worry about that. Anything else? I think that's it. For those who want to know, I'm actually playing the video game Black in this video. It was a great first-person shooter that came out on the original Xbox. You can't say Xbox One nowadays because people think about the new Xbox that's out. This is the honest-to-God Xbox One. I think I'll just call it Xbox Prime. Original Xbox sounds too much of a mouthful. Just like original Nintendo was a bit of a mouthful too. But anyway, definitely check that out. It's not backwards compatible. I bought it from the Xbox Live Arcade. The disc wasn't backwards compatible, so you had to buy it from the arcade if you wanted to play it, and now it's no longer in the Xbox Live Arcade. But go to like a retro game store, buy an original Xbox. It probably would cost you all of like $50 or $40, and then buy a copy of this game, which would probably run you more than the system itself. If it's on Steam, buy it on Steam. Get an emulator. Play it on an emulator. I mean, it's a great first-person shooter, especially for its time frame, which I think was like 2005, 2006. PlayStation 2 and Xbox Prime were like their heyday in that year. And this game was out on both systems. But yeah, thanks for everything. Really, thank you for everything. If you've ever watched one of our podcast videos, if you've ever watched one of our gaming videos, even if you just clicked on it and watched it for like 5 minutes, it still counts as a view, and it still counts as a view to us. If YouTube probably doesn't count it. But anyway, thank you for at least just clicking and giving us a chance. If you stuck with us, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for that support. It really does mean a lot to us. And we honestly could not be where we are and without any kind of support system, and so thank you very much. Definitely we're trying to be very interactive, so please always comment on our videos, stuff you would like us to try out for games, podcasts, anything. Subscribe if you really like us that much and see potential in us. Please subscribe to us, because that'll definitely help us out a lot too. What else was there? There was something else I wanted to mention. I think that's it. But yeah, thank you guys for everything. For the past 3 years, thank you. Can't say that enough. And here's to another year. Here's to talking to you guys and possibly seeing and interacting with you guys on year 4 in an actual video where I'm going to be sitting in front of it. That's what I was going to talk about. I did have a lot of shorts. We are going to try and get shorts out this year. Short films and maybe a web series. Because there's 2 web series I want to do. One of them is actually a continuation spinoff from a web series I originally like. The YouTube channel is 6 Days Remaining, I believe. But anyway, I wrote half a script for them and we want to get it shot, and they would let us shoot it, but I got to show them stuff that we've done, so I got to do more. Actually, got to get some shorts under my belt first and whatnot. So be on the lookout for that, please. We're gonna try and get them out within this year. I'm gonna at least promise you guys within the next 365 days, we're gonna get at least one short posted on here. So yeah, and thanks for your support in advance if you ever watch that and check it out. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go finish watching this video to check out. This is the 3rd level of the game. I might do a retro spotlight on it. I know I'm doing the Resident Evil 5 playthroughs right now, and those videos should be going through the editing process soon. I will actually do the Resident Evil retro spotlight video. I also have a lot of other stuff planned for October, which is Resident Evil month. So be on the lookout for that. October is really going to be a hectic month for us as far as post-production and posting goes. But yes, we will see you guys next year, September 17th, 2017. And until then, stay awesome. And seriously, if you like us, subscribe and recommend us to your friends. You know, feel free to chat with us. Feel free to interact with us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all that and whatnot. And we'll do our best to get back in touch with you guys in a timely manner too. So yeah, until then, everyone, take it easy, stay wonderful. Thank you all again, and here's to another productive and awesome year for us and for you guys as well. Love you all.
We got a machine gun! Take it out! Take it out!